So the scenario is going to be you are trying to do some research with either some friends or within a research group, or something you're just personally interested in, and someone will send you a link. So if you click on like any of these lists, this will generally be probably where you start from. Someone will send you this link, and then they will be like, hey, I'm researching this topic. Would you mind contributing however you can? So that's basically where we would start. And then if you don't mind just like clicking around and seeing if it generally makes sense and where you think like functionality kind of breaks down.
Well, that's a pretty bad one.
That's a bad start. That's a bad start. Yeah.
You get notified yet on the when you get these sort of exceptions thrown?
We haven't set that up yet. We will do that. That bug I knew about, and we're gonna have to fix it before we go live.
Yeah, that seems pretty severe.
Yeah, there's I ran 2 of these recently, and we ran into a lot of those, just like website halting issues.
Is this what the PubMed ID I need?
It kind of is. Okay, so this is another one of the things that we keep running into. We are, a lot of people don't know the type of identifiers that we are hoping that they'd be able to enter.
Right, so I'm no scientist. I haven't been in a real science in like a long time. So,
so what would hopefully happen, and I know it should come more naturally for doctors. I think we're going to revamp most of this, but if you go to PubMed.com or PubMed.org,
okay,
you'll be able to see. You'll be able to search there and find papers that.
Okay, yeah, here's a paper. So. So I observe right off here. Mm-hmm. Why is it when I choose to drop down, this thing says that it can take any of the 3? If you're capable of figuring out what it is, why don't you not have this drop down at all?
So that's actually a mistake. We're still working out that it's only supposed to accept 1 at a time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's just the problem with the
it's the text. Yeah, it's the text. Yeah.
Can any user just remove any papers from any list?
I think we're going to start off by keeping most of
Destroyed. That's a funny word for a non-programmer.
Yeah. We have a lot of work to do to make this more human.
Yeah. But anyway, what were you saying?
We're still trying to figure out exactly what people's access rights are. I think for now, at least for when we're launching, we're going to allow people to do as much as they want with most of this stuff, and just hope, within like the first 20 users, there's not going to be anyone trolling our site or anything like that. With the exception of a few restrictions here or there, but yeah. I mean, as you can
this
tell,
could be on the wish list, but these days the user interface style I really like is things are easy to remove, but they're also really easy to put back. So like it says reference was successfully destroyed. If I accidentally click this button, I would love to see an undo button there to put the reference back.
Yeah.
But that's like a down the road thing. I don't think if that's like a minimum viable product or anything. So this edit should let me edit the description, right?
It should, yeah. Yes, that is a bug that we need to fix sooner than later.
Yeah. What's the purpose of the back button?
Depends on which page you're on. Usually it should just bring you back to, I actually don't know what that back button does.
I don't know that it seems super necessary to me. Most people know to hit the back button on their browser to go back.
Right.
And also, this is just my opinion. I think this edit button is really awkward underneath all of this. Like, especially on a page like this that gets long, the edit's down here, but it's affecting this stuff up here. Like, it seems very confusing. It looks like an edit for the list.
Right.
All right. This. Not being a Pinterest user, I guess I don't really understand this paradigm, but yeah, all right.
Well, once we have like 5,000 lists, hopefully the pin.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah.
So right now,
clearly,
this is basically the ability to create curated lists of scientific papers. Seems cool.
That's right, exactly. And it's some minor features like voting and comments to just add a little bit more depth than just a regular like Google Scholar search or something people would create in like a Google Doc.
Is there any other feature that weren't there just a ton of papers on this one? Oh no, that's this one. Is there anything else that I should direct my attention to, or have I seen all the features of the site already?
You can create a list if you'd like, but it does basically what you think it does. Other than that, yeah, that's basically all the features. I mean, I think this is pretty much what once we get the bugs out, this is going to be our MVP. The other piece of this is the methodologies and biases. You should be able to edit those. We're still building that out. But other than that, it's that's basically it. That's the whole site. So it's just these open curated lists that people can contribute to. They're easily shareable, and yeah, that's the basic functionality. Still very much.
Papers go on to more than one list?
Papers can go on to more than one list, absolutely, yeah. And it'll share a lot of the backend data that is in there. Some things like comments and likes will be.
What's this?
Oh, this is all test stuff. It's not real. None of this is real.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Bad data.
So who gets to define what the methodologies and biases of a paper are?
We actually have a set list of methodologies. Both the methodologies and the biases we've kind of extracted from a few scientific sources. So like there's this organization called the Cochrane's group, and they do meta-analyses. So we've kind of just drawn from what they have. And so it's just a set list of biases and methodologies that we know to be true for now. And I think as we go on, we'll find out more about what kind of biases people want to be able to tag. So we'll see. It's still a learning process. We don't even know if we fully want to commit down to that road. I think it's important, but we have to test it we have to test all of these things and see what people actually want to see.
Right. I agree with that.
But yeah, that's basically it. Do you have any thoughts about this site in general?
It seems very focused, which is good.
Uh-huh.
I think you need to, like before, get this into the hands of people who are in its target market and just find out what they think is missing. It seems reasonable. I think that of the things that are missing, the thing that would concern me the most is the lack of any sort of ownership over a list. The list is identified by you. So this is like you're putting your reputation out there, plus you've taken the time to put it in. So you've got ownership over it. And then the ability of someone just to come in and either add stupid things or to remove things that you put on seems problematic to me. That seems like a pretty significant problem, actually. Whereas everything else that I see, other than the fact that this crashes when you click on it, is fairly minor. I might think that it's not an MVP without security on the list.
That makes sense. I think, yeah, we're still trying to figure out exactly where we want to draw the line between people being pure curation, so people really being in their own kind of bubbles and creating these lists and having contributors on those lists, and then having very open, publicly curated lists like Quora style, where everything's basically everyone can contribute.
Or Stack Overflow.
Right.
I guess my impression is this is one of those things that is the reason why you really want to get this in the hands of users.
Yeah.
Because the people in your target market will be able to tell you which of those things they want.
Yeah.
If you are going to go in the direction of curation, ownership by the original person, I think one hybrid that could work that I think is kind of underutilized as a model in general on the web is when people submit new papers or make modifications. Those changes could be provisional in some way. It's submitted to the list owner, and he can accept or deny them, sort of like a Git repository.
Yeah. There's a lot of really good options out there, and I agree with you. That's kind of, I think, with the direction we would head, but yeah, we haven't built it out. We're also still trying to figure out, what is our MVP exactly, and where we draw that line, how fast we should get it to users before building out too much code. But
yeah, I mean, I think that this like the thing I just proposed with having the ability to submit changes, like remove papers or add papers, and then they're curated by the original person, I don't think that's in the MVP. I think that that's something you would have to run by people who are in your actual target market and see what they think these lists are for.
Yep.
And what would make them better or worse.
Right.
But in its current state, I do think that even for people in the target market, not knowing who they are and how they think, what they need, I'm really alarmed by the idea that some troll could come through and delete all the work they put in. Like, losing work is like, I think that's like one of those things that kills a user for a site. Like, if someone puts in a lot of work on something and then for some reason it gets destroyed, that's like, oh, fuck this, I'm out of here, sort of.
Extreme loss aversion.
Right now, are deletions in your database true deletions, or are they more of an archive that you could undo in the event of like trolls?
Totally true deletions.
Right. So right now, that's like real trouble. Like, someone puts like an hour into a list, and if a troll comes through and deletes everything, that's like it for that user, probably.
Yeah. How much did you build out for your product before you launched, security wise?
As much as possible, I tried to have things with like user management handled by the plugins in Rails, the gems and stuff that are well tested, because you never want to invent that stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And I did roll out the user-facing functions with like edit history in them, such that while it wasn't like when I launched, there was no ability for people to access those things besides me through directly accessing the database. But among my first 20 users, I did get like troll in there, like sabotaging things. So people on the internet are dicks.
Was it an actual person? Was it a bot?
No, it was an actual person, and he was just like,
"Oh, what a dick!"
Wanted to see like what would happen if I went through and like fucked all this shit up. So the fact that I had like edit history and stuff and could roll back even just manually was really helpful in that case.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do recall there's a gem that's all in one for version history on a model that I used at least initially for this. Maybe I don't remember if I rolled my own later, but in the beginning I think I used a gem that tracked the model and its changes.
I think I used that on the old version too. I used some sort of version history thing, but yeah, again, it's just yeah. I think yeah, we could probably add some security features, but we're like you said last time, we want to get these in the hands of users as quickly as possible. So
yeah, I agree. I think that this looks pretty close. It's just got those two critical issues of the crash and some sort of troll deterrence.
Yeah, troll deterrents are always good. All right, I'm gonna turn off the broadcast.